Jake Morris was having the worst day of his life on Mars Station 7, when everything changed forever. The mining equipment had broken down again, and the colony manager was yelling at him through the communication system, while Jake lay under the massive drill trying to find what was wrong this time. His coveralls were covered in grease and the artificial gravity was acting up, making him feel sick. Then the alarms started screaming and everyone in the mining bay stopped working. Red lights flashed everywhere and the automated voice kept repeating, "Unknown vessel approaching without clearance. Unknown vessel approaching without clearance." Jake rolled out from under the drill and ran to the nearest window along with the other workers. Outside in the darkness of space, a ship unlike anything he had ever seen was moving toward their station. It looked like it was made of living crystal that shifted between purple and blue colors, with patterns that hurt to look at for too long. "That is not human technology," someone whispered. The ship docked without permission, which should have been impossible. The station defense systems did nothing, like they could not even see the vessel. Jake heard the security team running past the mining bay toward the docking area, but then everything went quiet. Too quiet. After 5 minutes of silence, Jake could not stand it anymore. He grabbed his tools and headed toward the docking bay. He told himself he was just curious, but really he was worried about the security team. They were his friends and the silence was wrong. The corridors were empty, which was strange for this time of day. The lights flickered, and Jake noticed frost forming on the walls, even though the temperature controls showed normal readings. His breath came out in small clouds as he got closer to the docking bay. He heard music before he saw anything. It was like nothing from Earth or any human colony. Strange and beautiful and sad, all at the same time. The docking bay. The door was open, and Jake peeked inside. The security team was standing in a circle, not moving at all. Their eyes were open but glazed over like they were sleeping while standing up. In the middle of the circle stood the most beautiful being Jake had ever seen. She was tall, maybe 7 feet, with long silver hair that floated around her like she was underwater. Her skin had a soft blue glow, and her ears came to delicate points. She wore something that looked like armor, made of starlight, and her purple eyes were focused on a small device in her hand. But what really caught Jake's attention were the 3 small dragons sitting on her shoulders. They were each about the size of a cat. One was red like Mars dust, one was green like Earth forests Jake had seen in pictures, and one was golden like the sun. Each had tiny wings that sparkled and eyes that seemed too intelligent for animals. The woman looked up suddenly and stared right at Jake. Her purple eyes went wide with surprise. "You are not frozen," she said in accented English that sounded like music. "How are you not frozen?" Jake stepped into the docking bay, confused. "I do not know." "What did you do to them?" The woman tilted her head, studying him. "I sing the sleep song. It makes humans stop and dream, but you are awake. This is impossible." One of the dragons, the red one, jumped off her shoulder and flew straight at Jake. He flinched, but the creature just circled around his head, making small chirping sounds before landing on his shoulder. Its tiny claws did not hurt through his coveralls. "Ember likes you," the woman said, sounding amazed. "Ember never likes anyone, especially not humans." She started walking toward Jake, and he wanted to run, but his feet would not move. The other 2 dragons flew over and joined Ember on his shoulders. "Who are you?" Jake asked, trying not to panic about having 3 alien dragons on him. "I am Luna of the Silver Woods, from the planet you humans call Kepler 452b, but we call it Thymalara. I am what your kind calls an elf, though that is not what we call ourselves." Jake had heard stories about elves. They were one of the first alien races humans had met, but they usually stayed far away from human space. They had technology that seemed like magic, and they thought humans were too violent and primitive. "Why are you here?" Jake asked. "Why did you freeze my friends?" Luna sighed, and the dragons made sad sounds. "I am running. My father wants me to marry someone I do not love, a warrior who thinks humans should be removed from the galaxy. I took our family ship and ran, but it is damaged. Your station was the closest place to hide." She waved her hand, and the security team started blinking and moving like they were waking up from sleep. They looked confused but not hurt. Jake suddenly had an idea. You need your ship fixed. Luna nodded sadly. Yes, but elf technology does not work with human tools. It is alive in a way your machines cannot understand. But I fix things. Jake said. It is what I do. Maybe. I cannot use normal tools, but there must be a way. Luna stared at him for a long moment. Then she smiled, and it was like the sun coming out. You are different from other humans, I can feel it. Ember, Jade, and Sunny can feel it too. That is why you did not freeze. You have something special inside. The security team was starting to ask questions, but Luna waved her hand again and they walked away, looking dazed. She turned back to Jake. Would you really try to help me? Jake nodded, not sure why he was, agreeing to this yes, but you have to promise not to hurt anyone else on this station. Luna held out her hand, her long fingers glowing slightly. I promise on the Song of Stars, which is the most sacred promise my people can make. Jake shook her hand and felt electricity run up his arm. The dragons chirped happily and Luna laughed. It was the most beautiful sound Jake had ever heard. Come, she said. I will show you my ship, and you can tell me if your human brave is enough to fix it. As they walked toward her docking port, Jake wondered what he had just agreed to. He was just a mining equipment repair tech who had never left Mars Station 7. Now he was about to try fixing an alien ship with technology beyond human understanding. The dragons seemed to purr on his shoulders, and Luna walked beside him, smiling. He noticed other humans in the corridor stopping to stare at them, but Luna did not freeze them this time. She just walked proudly, like she owned the station. Your friends will not. Remember I was here, Luna said. The sleep song makes them forget. But you will remember everything. Why do you trust me? Jake asked. You do not know anything about me. Luna stopped and looked at him seriously. The dragons know good hearts. They have chosen you. That means more than any words could say. And I need someone who is brave enough to do impossible things. Are you brave? Jake. Morris. Jake thought about his boring life, fixing mining equipment. He thought about how nothing exciting ever happened. On Mars Station 7, he looked at this beautiful alien woman with her magical dragons asking him to be brave. Yes, he said, I am brave. Luna's ship was nothing like Jake had imagined when they entered through the crystalline doorway. The inside looked like a forest made of glass and light. Trees of pure energy grew from the floor, reaching up to a ceiling that showed stars, even though they were inside. Soft moss that glowed green covered the ground, and Jake could hear water running somewhere. The air smelled like rain and flowers that did not exist on Mars Station 7. This is impossible, Jake whispered, looking around in wonder. How is there a forest inside your ship? Luna smiled and touched one of the energy trees. It glowed brighter at her touch. My people grow our ships from seeds. This one is 500 years old and still young by our standards. It is alive, and it thinks and feels. The three dragons flew off Jake's shoulders and played in the branches of the energy trees. They seemed happy to be home, making musical sounds that echoed through the space. But then Luna's face grew sad, and she led Jake deeper into the ship. They came to a room where the light was wrong. Instead of the soft blue and green glow, everything here was dark and red. Cracks ran through the crystalline walls, and Jake could hear a sound like something crying. This is the heart room, Luna said, quietly. When I ran from my father, I had to disconnect from the planetary network too quickly. It hurt the ship badly. Now it is dying, and I cannot heal it alone. Jake walked closer to the damaged area and felt heat coming from the cracks. He pulled out his scanner from his tool belt, but the device went crazy, showing readings that made no sense. Your technology cannot understand it, Luna said, but maybe you can. Ships like this bond with their pilots through touch and trust. It needs to feel life, energy to heal, but it will not accept mine anymore. It thinks I betrayed it by running. Jake put his scanner away and just looked at the damage with his eyes. He had been fixing things since he was a child, and sometimes he could feel what was wrong. With a machine without tools. This felt similar but different, like the ship was a patient that needed help. What happens if I touch it? Jake asked. Luna looked worried. It might accept you or it might attack. Elf ships have defenses against strangers, but the dragons trust you, so maybe the ship will. Jake took a deep breath and reached out his hand toward the biggest crack. But before he could touch it, a loud bang echoed through the ship. Someone was pounding on the outer door. Luna went pale. No, they found me already. Who found you? Jake asked. My father guards. Luna said, running to a wall that became transparent, showing outside. 3 more elf ships had surrounded them. These were different from Luna's ship. They looked like they were made of sharp metal and darkness. Warrior's ship's Luna touched the wall and spoke in her language. It sounded like singing but angry. The wall showed an elf man in armor that looked like it was made from dragon scales. His face was cruel and his smile was, "Cold little Luna," he said in English so Jake could understand. "You cannot run forever. Your father promised you to me and I will have what was promised. I will never marry you." Thorn Luna shouted back, "I would rather die with my ship." Thorn laughed. Then, "You will die. The human station cannot protect you. Their weapons cannot even see our ships. You have 1 hour to come out or I will take you by force." The communication ended, and Luna collapsed to her knees. The dragons flew to her, making sad sounds. Jake felt anger burning in his chest. He did not know Luna well, but nobody should be forced to marry someone they did not love. He made a decision that would change everything. "Luna, how long would it take to fix your ship if it accepted me?" Jake asked. He looked up with tears in her eyes. "Maybe 20 minutes if the bonding works, but Jake, if you bond with the ship, you can never unbond. You will always be connected to it." Jake nodded. "I understand. But if we fix it, can we escape?" Luna stood up. Hope in her eyes. "Yes, this ship is faster than the warrior ships. It was made for traveling, not fighting. But Jake, the bonding is dangerous for humans. Your minds are not made for it." I said, "I was brave." Jake replied. Remember, he walked to the damaged heart of the ship and placed both hands on the largest crack. The moment he touched it, pain shot through his entire body like lightning. It was not just physical pain, but something deeper. The ship was scanning his soul, looking at every memory, every fear, every hope. Jake saw his childhood on Earth before his family moved to Mars. He saw his mother death from the lung sickness. He saw his father giving up and disappearing into the mining tunnels. He saw himself alone at 15, learning to fix machines, because it was the only thing that made sense. But then the ship showed him something else. It showed him Luna past. She was younger, maybe 100 years old, which was still a child for elves. She was in a garden made of starlight playing with baby dragons. Her mother was there. A woman even more beautiful than Luna, singing songs that made flowers bloom. Then darkness came. Warriors attacking her mother, fighting and falling. Luna running with 3 dragon eggs, the last of their kind from that garden. Her father making a deal with Thorn to protect the remaining family. Thorn, who had killed her mother. People wanting Luna as a prize. Jake understood now. Luna was not just running from a marriage. She was running from the man who destroyed her childhood. The ship felt Jake's anger at this injustice. It felt his desire to protect Luna. It felt his human stubbornness that refused to give up when things were broken. And it decided to accept him. Light exploded from Jake's hands, spreading through the cracks like golden fire. The pain stopped and was replaced by something wonderful. He could feel the ship like it was part of his own body. He could feel its hurt, but also its strength. He could feel it healing. Luna gasped behind him. "That is not possible. You are making it stronger than before." Jake turned to her and she stepped back. His eyes were glowing with the same light as the ship. "I can feel everything," he said. "The ship likes me. It says I reminded of the first humans it ever met, the ones who were kind." The dragons flew around Jake, chirping excitedly. The ship was healing faster now. The cracks sealing themselves. The dark red light became healthy, blue and green again. "But we are running out of time." Thorn's voice echoed through the ship again, using some kind of technology to speak directly inside. "Time's up, Luna. Come out now." Jake felt the ship respond to his thoughts. He knew things he should not know. How to fly it. How to use its systems. How to fight with it, even though it was not a warship, Luna. We need to go now, Jake said. But I need you to trust me completely. Can you do that? Luna looked at this strange human, whose eyes glowed with her ship light, who had bonded with technology that should have killed him, who stood between her and a fate worse than death. Yes, she said, I trust you. Jake smiled and put his hand on what he now knew was the control node. The ship responded instantly. Engines that had been dead came to life. Shields that Luna did not even know existed powered up. And something else happened too. Every human on Mars Station. 7 suddenly heard Jake's voice in their heads. Do not be afraid, he said. This is Jake Morris. I need you all to do something that sounds crazy. Turn on every light. Every machine. Every piece of equipment, point them at the dark ships outside. Do it now. The colony manager voice came over the speakers. Jake, what the hell is happening? Just trust me, Jake said through the ship, and be brave outside. Thorn and his warriors laughed as they saw the human station lighting up. What are these primitives doing? Thorn said. Do they think their mining lasers can hurt us? But Jake was not trying to hurt them. He was doing something else. The ship had shown him that elf technology worked, on frequencies that human eyes could not see. But when enough human technology operated at once, it created interference. The warrior ship suddenly could not see Luna's ship. It vanished from their sensors like it never existed now. Jake said to Luna, Hold on. The ship shot forward faster than anything human-made could move. It passed right between the warrior ships, who fired at empty space where they thought it should be. In seconds, Mars Station 7 was far behind them. Luna stared at Jake in amazement. How did you know to do that? The ship taught me, Jake said, grinning. Turns out it really likes humans. It thinks we are interesting, because we do things that should not work, but somehow. The dragons landed on Jake's shoulders again, purring. Loudly, Luna laughed and hugged him. You did it, you saved us. Jake hugged her back, feeling the warmth of her glowing skin. But where do we go now? They will keep hunting you. Luna pulled back and looked at him seriously. There is a place, a station at the edge of known space where people go when they need to disappear. It is dangerous and full of criminals, but also full of possibilities. Jake felt the ship agree through their bond. It wanted to go there too. It wanted adventure. Then that is where we go, Jake said. To the edge of everything and whatever comes next. The journey to Haven Station took 3 weeks through space that got stranger. The further they went from human territory, Jake learned to fly the ship during those weeks, though flying was not really the right word. The ship moved through space like a living thing swimming through cosmic currents that human ships could not even detect. Luna taught him the basics, but the ship itself was the real teacher. It whispered knowledge directly into his mind through their bond. They had to stop twice for the ship to feed, which was the strangest thing Jake had ever experienced. Luna guided them to special nebulas where energy flowed like rivers. The ship would extend tendrils of light into the cosmic clouds and drink deeply while Jake felt every sensation through their connection. It was like tasting colors and hearing light. The dragons had taken to following Jake everywhere he went. Ember, the red one, liked to sleep on his shoulders. Jade, the green one, would bring him small objects she found interesting, like bits of crystallized energy from the ship walls. Sunny, the golden one, would sing to him in the morning with a voice like bells. Luna watched all this with amazement one evening as they drifted through a field of ancient asteroids. In 500 years, those dragons have never bonded with anyone except me, she said. They see something special in you. Jake was trying to fix a small human device he had brought from Mars Station 7 just to keep his hands busy. I think they just know I am good at fixing broken things, he said, including broken people. Luna moved closer to him on the moss-covered floor where they usually sat. Are you saying I am broken? No, Jake said quickly. Well, maybe a little, but we all are in some way. Right? Luna smiled and her hand brushed against his. The touch sent electricity through Jake's body, but not the painful kind. This was warm and pleasant. Ever since he had bonded with the ship, he could feel energy in everything, especially in Luna. Tell me about Earth. Luna said, I have never been there, My people think it is too crowded and noisy, but you loved it. Jake put down his device and leaned back against a glowing tree. Earth was beautiful in a different way from this, he said, gesturing at the ship forest. Not magical, just real. The sky was blue from oxygen, not from energy fields. The trees were made of wood and took decades to grow, not minutes. There were billions of people all trying to live together, even though we were all different. Why did you leave? Luna asked. My mother got sick. Jake said the medicine she needed was too expensive on Earth, but the mining companies on Mars would pay for treatment if you signed a 10-year contract. So we went. The dragons made soft, sad sounds and gathered around Jake. He petted each one gently, feeling their warm scales. Your mother, did she recover? Luna asked carefully. Jake shook his head. She lived 2 more years, which was 2 more than we would have had on Earth. But after she died, my father could not handle it. He went into the deep mines one day and never came out. I was 15. Luna took his hand properly this time, interlacing their fingers. I am sorry. Jake squeezed her hand. It's okay. It was a long time ago, and it made me who I am. Someone who fixes things because I could not fix the things that really mattered. They sat in comfortable silence for a while until the ship suddenly shuddered around them. Luna jumped up, alert. We are being pulled out of jump space. Jake felt it through the bond. Someone was using a gravity net to force them back to normal space. He ran with Luna to the control room, which formed around them as they needed it. The walls became transparent, showing space outside. A massive ship had them caught. It looked like it was made from pieces of 100 different vessels welded together. Human sections mixed with elf technology and other alien designs Jake did not recognize. It was ugly, but powerful. That is a pirate harvester, Luna said, with fear in her voice. They take ships apart and add the pieces to their own. A communication came through showing a human woman with scars covering half her face and mechanical implants where her left eye should be. Well, well, she said. What do we have here? An elf. Ship this far from home must be worth a fortune. Jake felt the ship fear through their bond. It was still young and had never been in real combat. But then he felt something else. His connection was not just to the ship, but through it to every piece of technology nearby, including the pirate vessel captain. Jake said, standing tall, We are just passing through. We do not want trouble. The pirate laughed. Trouble found you, boy. That ship is worth more than you can imagine. And an elf woman, too. Some collectors pay very well for those. Anger flooded through Jake and the ship responded. His eyes started glowing brighter. You will let us go? He said. And his voice carried power that should not exist. The pirate captain looked confused for a moment, then laughed again. Nice light show, but we have dealt with elf tricks before. Our shields are ready. But Jake was not using elf tricks. He was doing something purely human. Something that should not work, but would anyway, because humans always found a way. He reached through his bond with the ship and touched the pirate vessel systems. But not the elf parts or the alien parts. He touched the human technology at its core. The life support systems, the navigation computer, the communication array, all the basic things that humans built to survive in space. And he asked them nicely to stop working. The pirate ship lights flickered. Their gravity net failed. Alarms started screaming on their bridge. The captain was shouting orders, but nothing responded. How? Luna whispered. That is not possible. Jake grinned, still glowing with power. Humans build things to work together. I just reminded their human tech that it does not like being forced to work with stolen parts. The pirate ship was drifting now, powerless. Jake felt a little bad for the crew, but they had threatened Luna. He sent one more command through the connection and their distress beacon activated. Help would come for them eventually. Luna stared at Jake with something like awe. You used human technology against them, but through an elf-ship bond that should not be possible. Jake shrugged. The ship likes impossible things. It told me that is why it accepted me, because humans do not know what is impossible, so we do it anyway. They jumped back to faster-than-light travel, leaving the pirates behind. Luna was quiet for a long time before she spoke again. You are changing, she said. The bond is making you something new. Not human, not elf, but something between. Jake had felt it too. His eyes stayed, slightly luminous now even when he was not using the ship power. He could sense electronic devices from across rooms. He understood languages he had never heard before. "Does it bother you?" he asked. Luna moved close to him, very close. "No," she said. "It makes you even more special." She kissed him then, and it was like touching a live wire in the best way. Energy flowed between them and the ship sang with joy. The dragons flew circles around them, chirping happily. When they pulled apart, Jake was grinning. Like an idiot, Luna was glowing brighter than usual. Her cheeks purple with her species version of blushing. That was Luna started to say. But then the ship shuddered again. This time it was not pirates. Jake felt through the bond that they had arrived. Haven Station was ahead of them, and it was even stranger than they had imagined. The station was huge, built inside a hollow asteroid that spun for gravity ships from a dozen species were docked at ports carved directly from rock. The whole thing was lit by stolen stars, actual small stars that had been captured and contained in energy fields. "Welcome to Haven Station," a mechanical voice said over communication. No questions asked, no answers given. Pay your dock fee and keep your weapons powered. Down violence inside the station is met with death. Welcome to the last free port in the galaxy, Luna. Looked at Jake nervously. This is it. Once we dock here, we can never go back to normal civilization. Jake took her hand and felt the warm pulse of her energy. Normal was never that great anyway, he said. Besides, I have you and the ship and 3 dragons. What else do I need? Luna smiled and leaned against him. You really are the bravest human I have ever met. Jake laughed. No, I am just too stupid to know when to be scared. The ship moved toward the docking port and Jake felt its excitement through their bond. It wanted to see this place full of outlaws and refugees. It wanted adventure. And so did Jake as they approached. He saw other ships that should not exist. A human vessel with elf wings. A warrior ship painted in bright colors instead of dark. A small craft that seemed to be made entirely of living metal. This is where the impossible comes to hide, Luna said, and now we are impossible. Too good, Jake said, squeezing her hand. Let us be impossible together. The ship docked with a soft thump and Jake felt the station systems try to scan them, but the ship was too alien and Jake was too human, and together they were something the scanners could not understand. They were about to enter the most dangerous place in known space. But Jake was not afraid. He had Luna and she had him. They had a living ship and 3 loyal dragons. And most importantly, they had learned that impossible was just another word for interesting. Haven Station awaited them with all its dangers and possibilities. And Jake could not wait to see what impossible thing would happen next. The battle was chaos and Jake was everywhere at once through his connection to Haven Station. 20 warrior ships against 1 station should have been a massacre. But the warriors had never faced anything like this before. Every ship docked at Haven had joined the fight. The human vessels with their stubborn refusal to die. The elf ships that should not be fighting alongside humans. The hybrid technologies that nobody understood. All working together. Jake stood in the command center with Luna and the station master. His eyes blazed with light as he coordinated defenses through pure willpower. He was the bridge between incompatible systems, making them sing in harmony. Thorn's ship is holding back, Luna observed, watching the tactical display. He is letting others die for him. Coward, the station master spat. But smart, he knows something is different here. Jake felt sweat running down his face. The strain of connecting so many different technologies was enormous. Ember, Jade, and Sunny had grown to their full size, which was about as big as large dogs, and were channeling energy through him to help. But it was still almost too much. Then Jake felt something else through the station sensors. Another ship approaching. But this one was massive, bigger than anything in the battle. It looked like a city in space made of the same living crystal as Luna's ship, but ancient and scarred from 1,000 battles. Oh no. Luna whispered, Father. The ship was broadcasting on all frequencies, and the voice that came through made the battle pause. "This is Lord Thymel of the Silver Wood. Stand down all vessels." Thorn's ships immediately stopped firing but stayed in position. The Haven defenders looked to Jake for guidance. Luna grabbed Jake's arm. "That is my father's ship. He has the power to destroy this entire station." But Jake was feeling something strange through his connection. The massive ship was old and powerful. Yes, but it was also tired. It had been fighting for so long it had forgotten what peace felt like. And it was curious about Jake. Lord Thymel transport beam activated, and suddenly, he was in the command center. Jake had expected someone like Thorn, cruel and cold, but Luna father was different. He stood 9 feet tall with silver, hair like his daughter and eyes that held centuries of sadness. His armor looked like it was made from starlight. He looked at Luna first, and his expression softened. "My daughter, you are safe." Then he looked at Jake and his eyes widened. "You are the human who bonded with our ship. That should not be possible." Jake stepped forward, feeling Luna fear, but also her love for her father. "Lord Thymel, I know you came for Luna, but she does not want to go with Thorn. She wants to be free." Lord Thymel studied Jake for a long moment. "Do you know what Thorn is offering for her alliance with the greatest warrior fleet in known space? Protection for our people forever, and all it costs is your daughter happiness," Jake said. The ancient elf looked surprised that a human would speak to him so boldly. "What do you know of happiness, human? Your species lives for such a short time." Jake felt the station master touch his mind, giving him strength, and he had an idea. "Maybe that is why we understand it better. We do not have centuries to waste being miserable, Lord." Thymel was quiet for a moment. Then he did something unexpected. He laughed. "You remind me of someone," he said, "a human I met long ago when our species first made contact. She told me something similar, that humans love fiercely because they know time is short." "He was on your ship," Jake said suddenly, understanding. "The memory I saw when I bonded, the first humans your ship met, one of them was special to you." Lord Thymel's face showed shock. "How could you know that?" "Because your ship told me." Jake said. "It misses her too." Luna gasped. "Father, you loved a human, Lord." Thymel closed his eyes. "It was 200 years ago. She grew old and died while I remained young, and I have regretted every day since that. I let politics keep us apart." He opened his eyes and they were full of tears. "I will not make the same mistake with my daughter." He turned to the communication system. "Thorn, this is Lord Thymel. The marriage is cancelled. Take your ships and leave or face me in combat." Thorn's voice came back full of rage. "You betray your own kind for humans. You are not pure anymore, old man." "Then I never want to be pure." Lord Thymel said, "Choose now." The warrior ships powered up weapons, but Lord Thymel's ship responded with a display of power that made everyone step back. Weapons Jake had never imagined existed came online. The ancient ship was not just powerful. It was designed to end civilizations. Thorn fleet ran. They jumped to hyperspace so fast they left radiation trails. The command center erupted in celebration, but Jake collapsed. His connection to so many systems had drained him. Luna caught him with her father helping. "He is strong, Lord," Thymel said, "but he pushed too hard. He needs rest." The station master looked at the ancient elf lord. "You could destroy us all. Why help us?" "Because," Lord Thymel said, looking at Jake and Luna, "this human showed me something I had forgotten, that impossible things are worth fighting for." Later, Jake woke up in Luna's ship in the forest room. His head was in Luna's lap and she was singing softly. The dragons were curled up around them like scaly cats. Her father stood nearby. "You are awake, Lord?" Thymel said. "Good. We need to talk about what you have become." Jake sat up slowly, feeling like his brain had been put in a blender. "What do you mean?" "You are changing," Lord Thymel said. "The bond with the ship, the connection to multiple technologies, the energy the dragons share with you. Soon, you will be something new. Neither human nor elf, but a bridge between worlds. Is that bad?" Jake asked. Lord Thymel smiled. "It is impossible, which means it is exactly what the galaxy needs. He looked at his daughter. Luna, I give you my blessing to be with this impossible human, to make your own path. Luna hugged, her father tears streaming down her face. Thank you, Lord. Thymel turned to leave but stopped. I will spread the word that Haven Station is under my protection. Anyone who attacks it, attacks the Silverwoods fleet. Thank you. Jake said. But why? Because, Lord Thymel said the human woman I loved would have liked you. She also did impossible things. After he left, Luna kissed Jake deeply. You did it. You stood up to my father and won. Jake laughed. I thought we were all going to die. Luna smiled. That is what makes you brave. You were afraid, but you did it anyway. The station master voice echoed through the ship. You two are welcome to stay as long as you want. Haven Station could use impossible people like you. Jake looked at Luna, then at the dragons, then felt his bond with the living ship. They were a strange family, but they were his. We will stay, Jake said. At least until the next impossible thing comes along. Luna laughed and the dragons sang and the ship hummed with contentment. 6 months later, Jake had become something of a legend on Haven Station. The boy who could fix anything. The human who bridged technologies. The one who made impossible things work. He had set up a shop with granite where beings from across the galaxy brought broken technologies that nobody else could fix. Jake would touch them, understand them, and heal them. He never turned anyone away. Luna had started teaching others about elf technology, sharing knowledge that had been hidden for centuries. Together they were breaking down the barriers between species, and always the 3 dragons were with them, growing stronger and stranger. Ember had learned to breathe different kinds of energy, not just fire. Jade could become invisible when she wanted, and Sunny Song could heal both machines and living beings. One day Jake was working on a particularly difficult piece of tech when Luna came in with news. Jake, she said, there is someone here to see you. He looked up to find a human woman standing in his shop. She looked exactly like the woman from Lord Thymel memories, but that was impossible. She had died 200 years ago. Hello, Jake, she said with a smile that was too knowing. My name is Katie, and I have been waiting a very long time to meet someone like you. How Jake started, but Katie held up her hand. That is a story for another day, she said. For now, know that impossible things have been happening for longer than anyone realizes. And you are part of something much bigger. She handed Jake a small device that looked like nothing he had ever seen before. When you are ready, this will show you the truth about why humans and elves were meant to meet, why some humans can do impossible things, and why the galaxy needs bridges like you. Then she was gone, leaving Jake and Luna staring at the device. Should we? Jake asked. Luna took his hand and smiled. We do impossible things, remember? Jake activated the device and their adventure truly began. Because being brave was not about not being afraid. It was about grabbing the impossible when someone you loved said be brave. And Jake had learned that impossible was just another word for human. Haven Station was even more dangerous than they had expected, and Jake loved every minute of it. The main marketplace was carved from solid rock with ceilings so high you could barely see the stolen stars, providing light. Vendors from species Jake had never seen before sold things that should not exist. Weapons that shot thoughts instead of bullets. Fruits that grew backwards in time. Memories stolen from dead civilizations and kept in glass bottles. Luna stayed close to Jake as they walked. Through the crowd, she had changed her appearance using elf magic to make her ears look more human, and dimmed her natural glow. But she still drew attention, being taller than most humans and more beautiful than anyone had a right to be. The dragons had to stay hidden in Jake's jacket, which they did not like. Ember kept poking her head out to hiss at anyone who got too close. Jade was fascinated by all the shiny objects for sale, and Sunny just wanted to sing. But Jake kept gently pushing her. Head back down. We need to find work. Luna said quietly. If we are going to stay here, we need credits to pay for docking and supplies. Jake nodded, but he was distracted by a commotion nearby. A group of humans were arguing with what looked like a rock creature that stood 8 feet tall with crystals growing from its shoulders. Your machine is broken. The rock creature rumbled in broken English. You fix or I take ship. We told you we cannot fix it, one of the humans said desperately. Nobody can understand that alien tech. It is impossible. Jake felt his connection to technology humming. He could sense the broken device from here. It was calling to him, like it needed help. Wait here. Jake told Luna and walked over to the group. Maybe I can help, Jake said. The humans turned to look at him and laughed. A young man with cybernetic arms sneered. You are just a kid? What do you know about crystalline tech? Jake's eyes started glowing slightly. Let me see it. The rock creature tilted its massive head, studying Jake. You smell of ship bonding and dragon fire, it said in its rumbling voice. Interesting, show me what human can do. The humans reluctantly showed Jake the device. It was beautiful and broke in a sphere of living crystal with veins of light that should be flowing but were dark and cracked. Everyone said it was a navigation core worth more than most ships, but nobody could fix it. Jake picked it up and immediately felt its pain through his enhanced senses. It was not just broken. It was lonely. It had been separated from its parent ship for so long it had forgotten how to function. Hey there, Jake whispered to the device. You are safe now. Let me help. He closed his eyes and let energy flow from his hands into the crystal, the same energy that connected him to Luna's ship. The device recognized it as something familiar but different. It was curious about this human who felt like home. The crystal began to glow. The cracks sealed themselves. The veins of light started flowing again. In less than a minute, the device was humming happily and Jake's hands fully repaired. The entire marketplace had gone quiet. Everyone was staring at Jake. The rock creature made a sound like an avalanche, which Jake realized was laughter. Impossible human, it said. You are the one stories speak of, the human who bonds with elf ship. I am granite of the deep caves. You have earned my friendship. The humans with cybernetic arms were staring in shock. That was a 1,000,000 credit device, they said. How did you do that? Jake shrugged and handed the sphere back to Granite. I fix things. It is what I do. Granite reached into a pouch and pulled out a handful of crystals that glowed with inner fire, payment and promise. It said, come to my shop tomorrow. I have more work for. Impossible human. As Granite walked away, the crowd started murmuring. Jake heard whispers of the ship bonder and the human who speaks to machines. Some looked at him with awe, others with fear, and some with greed. We should go, Luna said, appearing at his side. She had seen everything. Now everyone knows about you, but it was too late. A group of armed guards in black armor approached them, the leader. A woman with 4 arms from some species, Jake did not know, spoke in perfect English. The station. Master wants to see you, she said. It is not a request. Jake and Luna looked at each other. They could try to run, but they were surrounded. Luna took Jake's hand and he felt her fear through their connection. It is okay. Jake said, though he was not sure. It was, we will face this together. The guards led them through the station to levels most people never saw. These tunnels were older, carved by something that was not human or any known species. The walls had patterns that hurt to look at and the air felt thick with age. Finally, they arrived at a massive chamber. The ceiling was a dome of pure crystal showing the void of space beyond. In the center sat the station master. Jake had expected a crime lord or a military commander. He had not expected a child. The station master looked like a human girl, maybe 12 years old, with silver hair and eyes that were completely black. But when she smiled, Jake felt power radiating from her that made his bond with the ship seem like a spark compared to a star. Hello, Jake Morris, she said in a voice that was young and ancient at the same time. I have been waiting for you, you know me. Jake asked. The station master laughed. I know everything that happens in my station. I know you bonded with an elf ship which should have killed you. I know you have 3 dragons in your jacket. I know you love Luna of the Silver Woods, though neither of you has said it out loud. Yet Luna. Hand tightened in Jake. Grip, what are you? Jake asked. The station master stood and walked closer. She was small, but her presence filled the room. I am what happens when experiments go wrong. I was human once, until scientists tried to merge me with an ancient AI they found in a derelict ship. Now I am both, and neither. I am Haven. Station itself, Jake understood now. The station was not just run by her. She was the station. Every wall, every system, every breath of recycled air. Why did you want to see us? Jake asked. Because you are like me. The station master said, something that should not exist but does. A human who can bond with alien technology without losing himself. And I have a proposition for you. She waved her hand, and the walls showed images of ships fighting, warriors in dark armor, attacking refugee vessels, pirates, hunting families trying to escape to Haven. My station is a sanctuary, she said. But it is under threat. The same warriors who hunt Luna are part of a larger force. They want to cleanse the galaxy of what they call impure mixing. No humans with alien tech. No elves who love humans. No hybrids or impossible things like us, Luna gasped. That is why Thorn wanted me to use my pure bloodline for his cause. The station master nodded. He is gathering an army. They will come here eventually. And when do I need defenders? She looked directly at Jake. I need someone who can make impossible things possible. I need someone who can teach others that the barriers between species are not walls but bridges. Will you help me? Jake felt the weight of the decision. This was bigger than just him and Luna. This was about everyone who did not fit in the normal galaxy. Everyone who was different or strange or impossible. But before he could answer, alarms started screaming through the station. The station. Master eyes went wide as she connected to every sensor at once. They are here, she said. A fleet of warrior ships, and they are demanding we surrender. Luna, or they will destroy the station. Jake felt anger burn through him. Not fear, but pure human stubbornness. They wanted to take Luna. They wanted to destroy this place full of refugees and outcasts. They wanted to make the galaxy pure no. Jake said, and his voice carried through every speaker in the station. They do not get to decide who belongs and who does not. The station master smiled. Then will you fight? Jake looked at Luna, who nodded without hesitation. The dragons poked their heads out of his jacket, chittering war cries. Yes, Jake said. We fight. The station master laughed with joy. Then let me show you something wonderful about Haven Station. It is not just a sanctuary, it is a weapon. And with your ability to connect human and alien technology, we might just survive this. She touched Jake's forehead, and suddenly, he could feel the entire station, like it was his body. Every ship docked here, every defensive system, every person willing to fight, he could feel their determination, their fear, their hope. And at the edge of sensor range, he could feel Thorn fleet approaching. 20 ships of warriors, who thought they were pure and perfect, about to face humans and aliens and impossible things united together. Luna squeezed his hand. We are probably going to die, she said. Jake grinned back at her. Probably, but it will be fun trying not to. The first warrior ship fired and Haven Station answered. The battle for the impossible had begun.